up, everybody? Welcome back to Red Zone Sports. We are going to break down today the top NFL defenses for fantasy football this year in 2023. Before we get to that, please don't forget to hit the thumbs up on our video here. Don't forget to subscribe. Drop me a comment. Go ahead, disagree. Give us props, whatever. It all works, but engagement, the subscribes, the likes, helps us out a ton. We really appreciate it. And yeah, on to the top 5 list. So I'm actually going to throw a curveball here to start. I'm going to give an honorable mention. They didn't quite make my top 5, mainly because of one major injury that happened in camp. But honorable mention will go to the Miami Dolphins. Adding Vic Fangio to a defense with Christian Wilkins, Jalen Phillips, Bradley Chubb, Xavier Howard, Javon Holland, and obviously Jalen Ramsey, they should make some noise in South Beach this year. The injury to Jalen Ramsey it is a blow, right? He's going to be out, a quarter to a half of the season. But when he comes back, I think this defense is going to be rocking and rolling. They are in a tough division with Buffalo, the Jets. That division's going to beat each other up this year. But I think Miami is going to have a really, really good defense. Vic Fangio is one of the best defensive coordinators in the league. Adding him to this mix and kind of a younger defense with some veterans, I just don't see how they're not good, right? So Miami Dolphins, they didn't quite crack my top 5, but I have them right there. Moving on, number 5, Pittsburgh Steelers. Some people are going to disagree with this, but I come back to when TJ Watt is healthy and he is on the field, he's arguably the best defensive player in the league. And that's coming from a Niners fan. They're a different team with him. You have Cam Hayward, Mr. Reliable, who's been there anchoring the defensive line. They have Alex Highsmith. They've got Minkah Fitzpatrick. They added Patrick Peterson, who I know his best days are behind him, but still very reliable back there in the defensive backfield. Pittsburgh, I think, gets back to their roots this year. They missed the playoffs last season. I do not expect a second year in a row for Mike Tomlin to be sitting at home in January. I think if they stay healthy, they get back again to kind of Pittsburgh Steeler football, playing tough, hard-nosed defense, turning the ball over. I think Kenny Pickett's going to be better on offense, which will put the defense in better positions. So yeah, Pittsburgh Steelers round out my top 5 at the bottom. Moving on, Philadelphia Eagles, number 4. Look, they lost their defensive coordinator. They lost Javon Hargrave, a few other starters off of last year's team, but they just came right back and reloaded with Jalen Carter and Nolan Smith. They still have elite talent top to bottom on that defense. They'll continue to be a force, I think, in the NFC East this year. Look, they were only the 4th team in NFL history last year with 70-plus sacks. Even a small step backwards, they should still be a pretty damn good pass rush. They've also got really good linebackers, defensive backfield, Darius Slay back there. They're going to be really, really solid. So I think the only concern here for me would be health, as this defense is aging with guys like Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham, and Slay. They are getting a little bit older, but the Eagles should be back in a big way on defense, turning the ball over, getting to the quarterback. They're stacked. So Eagles, number 4. Going down, number 3, Dallas Cowboys. Pains me to say again as a Niners fan, but you can't deny it. Last year, Dallas led the NFL in pressure rate. They were 3rd in sacks. They allowed the 6th fewest points in games. Micah Parsons, there's not much you can say about the guy other than he's a top 3 defensive player in the league. He also has joined DeMarcus Lawrence. They drafted Maisie Smith. They've got Stephon Gilmore that should help solidify that defensive backfield next to Travion Diggs and Malik Hooker. Dan Quinn is a really damn good defensive coordinator. We'll see what happens with the Cowboys on offense this year, losing Kellen Moore. But I do think the defense, they are fast. They're aggressive. They're going to turn the ball over. They're going to get a lot of sacks. I think from a fantasy perspective, the Cowboys can't be ignored this year on defense once again. Down to number 2. Look, all the hype is around Aaron Rodgers out there in New York, but I think it's the New York Jets defense that's going to be the key to their season once again. You've got Sauce Gardner, who was just an absolute home run pick for them last year. Quinnen Williams just signed his big extension. CJ Mosley had a great year. They ranked 5th last year in DVOA. They give up the 2nd fewest points in the league. I think they'll be, again, even better this year, the 2nd year in a Robert Saleh defense. And I think also, Aaron Rodgers plays complete football. And what I mean by that is he doesn't put his defense in bad positions. He doesn't turn the ball over a whole lot. They will play field position. And I think it's going to set up that defense to play just kind of, again, well-rounded, complete football. I think the New York Jets have as much talent just about as anybody out there, and they'll be rock solid as a fantasy defense this year for you. And number one, I know I let the cat out of the bag that I'm a Niners fan, but I promise I'm not being biased here. I do think they have the best defense in the league. They've got the reigning defensive player of the year in Nick Bosa. I know he's holding out right now. He'll be back by week 1. Don't worry. But he returns. I think they're going to be one of the league's best units, top to bottom. They added Javon Hargrave, stole him from the Eagles, put him with Eric Armstead. You've got Javon Kinlaw. You've got Drake Jackson. The defensive line is absolutely loaded. You've got Travarius Ward on the back end with Talanoa Hufanga. Linebackers, Fred Warner, Drake Greenlaw. So all 3 levels, they have elite Pro Bowl level players. And Steve Wilkes comes over from Carolina, and everybody has said so far, he should fill the void of D'Amico Ryans without a problem. I think they're primed for a really big season. And a big reason for that is why I have them ranked over the Jets, the Cowboys, the Eagles, is, again, their schedule in division, right? You got to look at these things when you're drafting defenses. They're going to play in a division with Arizona and the Rams, who are not projected to be quite as good or electric this year. They seem to have had Seattle's number the last few years. So if you look at that right there, that's 6 games, opponents in division. I know they've got a tougher schedule, but Niners round out the top 5 defenses for me right now. So once again, thanks for tuning in. Please subscribe, hit the thumbs up on this video. If you disagree with any of my picks, or if there's someone I left out and you want to make the argument for, drop it in the comments. Let's do it. Talk to y'all later.